Hello, welcome back to the 7 in 7 Together official podcast from the Kevin Sinfield MND Challenge 2025. Now, today was an old school savage runner's day, the sort they never forget. It had hills, it had rain, it had exhaustion, it had that midpoint fatigue that all runners talk about when they just start to feel the pinch of a challenge this extreme. So we're joined by Chris Stephenson, one of the three intrepid runners on the team. And I know, Chris, you've had a hard day, a rough day. Talk me through it.
Yeah, well, I said to you before, Paul, I think this challenge has been probably one of the hardest challenges for a number of reasons. One, the weather has been awful. Two, the elevation on most of the runs has been unquestionably the hardest we've ever done. However, outside of that, some of the support we've seen in Swansea, Cork, and again today in Sheffield it gets you through the day, because we all have those dark moments, but when we realise why we're here and what we're doing and we're supporting Kevin, it gets us through those real dark moments.
Can you kind of put today's test in the context of all the other challenges you've done and the difficult days you've fought your way through?
Yeah, I think in terms of today, we set off and the hills that the guys experienced straight away were probably the hardest that we've ever gone up. And to get in a mental place knowing that it's going to get harder and harder. I mean, the last leg, I don't know if you saw it, but the hill on the last leg was just insane. So you've just got to get your mind around just consistently knowing that you're doing this for the right reason and you're doing it to support the people of the M&D community.
And what about, the rain and the greyness is, I guess, psychologically daunting as much as anything. It's not harder to run through rain technically, but it's kind of discouraging, isn't it, to have to do that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we were cold to our bones from the time we set off, and once you're wet, you're wet. And therefore, now I'm nice and warm, feel cozy in my hoodie, and tomorrow will be cold and wet again. And you just got to get your head around the fact that you're wet for a period of time. But after that, and I think this is what these kind of challenges do, is that you know that it is for a period of time. And after that period of time, you're warm, you're on a bus, you're having a laugh, a joke, nice food. And if you can get your mind around that, it's the same in business, Paul, is that if you set a goal, you've got to get to the end of the goal, and then you've achieved something. So, there's a whole host of emotions that go through the day. Achievement, though, is the main one.
Well, I mean, you're famous for your ability just to keep going and keep showing up and never surrendering. Are you like a batsman in cricket who breaks the day into chunks? Batsmen say, I'm just going to play the next ball, I'm just going to play this over, I'm just going to play this session. Is that the way you see it between stops?
Yeah, well, I'm the life. I look at the thing that's right in front of me and overcome that challenge and then move to the next one. Because I think if you try and look too far ahead, you will forget what you're trying to achieve. And for me, there's 7 blocks and we've just got to do each block one at a time.
I've seen you run with Olympic royalty, Steve Cram.
Yes.
And I saw you do it again today with Jess Ennis-Hill, 2012 London Olympic champion, all-round magnificent athlete, Sheffield native. And when she turned up today, what effect did that have on the group?
Well, you're absolutely right. 2012 gold medalist, 3-time world champion, and somebody that the nation has been inspired by. And to have, I think 2 things, to have somebody like Jessica turn up and support Kevin and the team and all of us, just shows you how far we've come on this journey of awareness and people understanding all about motor neurons disease. So it was a buzz, whether it's Steve Cram, Jess Ennis, Laura Kenny. When you have somebody else in the team with you, it just helps that morale. But what a great athlete she is.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because before you set off and she was waiting for you to come in, she kept telling people how nervous she was about running with you all because she thought she was going to get left behind. And I thought, no, that's not going to happen. She looked like she did in 2012. Presumably, she kept pace with you very comfortably, did she?
Yeah, listen, I mean, she'd normally won the gold medal before the 800 meters when she did the race. But you could tell the spring in her foot, the way that she ran, great energy, and really nice person to run with.
Yeah. And when the conditions are foul and people can see you slogging up hills, do you sense an extra level of encouragement from the crowd? And does that help?
Yeah, well, again, I think this challenge more than any challenge, the crowd, the support has been insane. You know, the rain that we've experienced over the last 2 days, and the children, the people that have been out on the streets, you know, it's overwhelming at times because you think, listen, we're doing this and we all know why we're here. But these people are standing in the rain for that 20-second moment to see Kevin and the team run past. And you know, that is such a grounding moment for us.
I mean, you're famous for starting Kevin as a runner, for encouraging him to do it. It never really occurred to him before you put the idea in his head. And I don't suppose you regret that, do you?
No, not at all. I mean, Kevin's a natural leader and will always do the best at anything that he does. And that I remember it fondly the first day that we got Kevin out running in Brisbane, and he'd never done a 10K. The joy in his eyes from finishing that 10K to what he's achieved now is just fantastic.
It's funny to think that there was a Ashes test in Brisbane today, and Joe Root, Sheffield lad, scored his first test century down there. So there were a lot of happy coincidences today. And of course, you don't just turn up at these things and run 7 ultra marathons in a row. You have to prepare for them, don't you? So how far out would you start to prepare, and how hard do you push yourself to get to the start line here?
Yeah, so, you know, I never don't run, so I'll probably not run next week. I'll have a week off, and then I'll start running again. So I've already got planned Brighton, London, Manchester marathons, and then I've got an ultra marathon in the Wirral where I live. And for me, running's now become part of my religion. I love running. It keeps me fit. I enjoy the challenge of running long distances. So it's part and parcel of what we do. For these challenges, though, in particular, is the intensity of the run. So, you know, we get up again tomorrow. We're in Cumbria. It's going to be cold, hopefully not wet, but it's going to be cold and we've got to go again.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be fair to say that one of the things also that gets you around is the camaraderie in the group. 3 runners and 3 cyclists. It will be fair. I mean, you have a great time. You also wind each other up, and you drive each other on.
Well, let's clarify that, Paul. Martin winds us all up, and I take the brunt of it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to give Martin a right reply on that one, but I believe you.
Yeah.
And of course, each time you do this, you're another year older. I mean, miles on the clock in long distance running. Is that a thing?
I think this challenge more than any, I've struggled a little bit more. I'm 55, proud to say.
Yeah.
Getting closer to 60, and you have to train harder in order to keep that intensity going. Kind of getting to the stage now where I'm struggling to keep up with Kevin and David because they are so fit, so intense on their running. But, you know, it's about the team and making sure that whenever I can run, I'm running.
Yeah. It must be amazing just in life to do something where you get so much attention for it. I mean, the 7 days you're running through these galleries and you're stopping at places and you're getting all this acclaim and this love. It must be extraordinary because it's not about us, is it? That's what we know very deeply. It's about the people that you're running for, isn't it? It's about the MND community.
And most of my training is by myself. So I'm used to running in the dark by myself, just with the thoughts in my head. So it's a really different experience to do. And sometimes I do like that isolation of just running by myself.
Yeah, I mean, did you take it up? Why did you take it up? Was it purely for fitness or was it just for general well-being?
So it's kind of a sad story. My father got me into running when I was a child, and we did cross country together. And then sadly he passed away 17 years ago, and I didn't really run in the interim because I had a career and I was trying to build up my profession. And then at the age of 40, got back into running and did Liverpool half marathon in a ridiculous time of 2 hours 20. And then slowly got the bug again. And, this is my 73rd marathon that I've just done.
Yeah. What about fighting through injury? Because you do pick up injuries in these weeks, and you have to treat them and you have to try and rest them, but there's no time for resting them, is there? You don't get much sleep. So how do you deal with the infirmities that you develop as the days go on?
Yeah, well, listen, we've got an amazing support team, and Dave O'Sullivan is probably one of the best physios in the country, if not the world.
Yeah.
And he puts me back together at the end of each day. And he's surprisingly feel really good the next day. I think the only thing that seems to have gone nationwide is that my toenail fell off. Yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge because it's banging against my trainer every day.
Yeah, I think that has been a major news story,
Yeah.
and also it being taped back on. That was the follow up, really.
Yes.
But you're managing all right with that toenail, because most of us would have not given up, but been put off pretty badly.
In the scheme of everything else that's aching, the toenail seems to have disappeared right now in terms of that level.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's fine.
There's a thing we do on this podcast. We always ask people for their most memorable day in all the 5.5 challenges so far. Is there a particular day that you look back on with a special fondness?
Yeah, I mean, I know you've asked that question. It's a real tough one for me because
Yeah.
running through what we run through, Dave, the other runner, calls it champagne moments. So we've had so many champagne moments from running over the border from Scotland to England and Martin playing Land of Hope and Glory to walking out on Old Trafford. But I guess if you really focus in on what this is all about, running with a mate, for a mate, then it would be challenge 1, day 4, when there was 6 of us. And I guess it also shows why and how we've evolved over the period. So on day 4 of challenge 1, I split my calf and had real pain. Daryl, who I'd met 5 times, got off his bike and massaged me on the side of the road. Phil went to the co-op to get me some paracetamol. And I had 12 kilometers to go, and I stumbled round, and it was before my 4-year-old son was born. And Daryl gave me the most heroic motivational speech to get up the final hill.
Did he really?
And for me, that epitomized everything about this team, was that we did anything for each other. We are a team, and it's just evolved into one of the best teams that I've been part of.
It's a bit more sophisticated now than a packet of paracetamol at a corner shop, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. And what about a piece of music that for you sums up the whole experience?
Yeah, so I can't remember where we were, Paul, but I think it's about 7:30 in some Yorkshire village, and we put on the boombox "You'll Never Walk Alone." And being a Liverpool fan, it was quite emotional because even Phil Daly sang as well. And I always remember a lady opening the curtains to see what the noise was outside.
Yeah.
But "You'll Never Walk Alone."
Yeah, I mean, actually, you wouldn't have to be a Liverpool fan to find that very moving on a challenge like this, would you? And, all of us hear these devastating stories at each time we stop. And we're meeting people all the way down the line who are telling us things that are often heartbreaking. They're inspirational and defiant, but underlying it is a kind of heartbreak, isn't there? A heartbreak of loss. Presumably that helps you keep going.
So we mentioned it on the journey into Sheffield yesterday. The extra mile has been really, really more emotional than I think it's ever been. I think we all have invested significantly in it, and the stories and the people around there. I mean, people applied 6 months prior to doing it today, and it's been their Christmas day to run with Kevin in the team. And I think when you take time to go around the extra mile and listen to some of the stories and see the impact that we're having on those people, it really brings all of this back to reality of what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, it really does. On that note, battered but unbowed, Chris Stephenson will run on as he always does. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow where will we be back tomorrow from, Chris?
Somewhere in Cumbria.
That was it. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you again soon.